Hello everyone, my name is Joe and welcome to today's video where I'm going to be making 5 designs for a 3x3 house. And it is basically like a starter house and the materials are quite hard to get. Like for some of these houses, not all of them. So yeah, let's get right to it. So the first design I have right here is like a wooden shack. And I'm too lazy to pick up the block, so I'm just going to and since we've got our collection of blocks, which this house is made out of, and of course all of these houses are going to be 3x3. Like the interior is going to be 3x3. So let's begin this house with the foundation, and we're going to be placing 3 cobblestone blocks on either side, and a dark oak fence on the corners. Now, we're going to start by putting oak stairs facing upwards like this. And from here, we can... Oh, this is going to be a tough one. Place a stair like this. And this is basically most of the house done. These are the main walls. And I'm going to use trapdoors as windows for this one. So we'll place it like this. And then we can just take a block and place it right here. And from there, we can start working on the roof. So we're going to take a stone slab or a full plank and put blocks right here. Now that we have it done, we can then start placing slabs like this and making it up one slab and doing it on the other side. And then we can raise this up by one slab, and so it looks like this. And we do it on the other side. Since we have that, we can now take a slab from here and make a straight line going to the other side and make another line of slabs right here. Now we can bring our spruce slabs and we can start filling up the roof, making a straight line and another line, and then 3 right here. Now we can place and fill in all of these. And then do that on the other side. And there we have it, the roof is done. And now we can just simply put the fence all around the corners. And now we can place a chimney, which is going to be just a simple one right here. And we can place a stair right here, an upside down stair right here, another cobblestone block right here, and a wall on the top to make it look like a chimney, and this will make it like a curve. Now you can just take any flooring block you want and replace the flooring because we don't want the grass. And we can then simply bring our door and put it. So this is our exterior done. And we can then hop inside and decorate it as much as we want. We can then tidy up the inside as I did in the interior of this house. So you can take and use the space of this as much as you want. It's all about using the space as much as you can and fitting in the most useful stuff. So we have a bed, a furnace, a crafting table, chest, everything that you would see in a normal house. And so since this is done, we can just decorate the outside by putting some flowers, a bunch of grass, or just place a bunch of bone meal around here and there. And that should probably be it. And placing a bunch of grass and ferns and a bunch of flowers, we can decorate our house and make it look pretty from the outside. And this is the first house done. Moving on, we have a new design, which is the modern house. And yeah, this is a really nice design, although an expensive one. And we're gonna start making it right now. So we're gonna take first of all the cyan terracotta, and we're gonna place a small frame where our door is going to be, and we can then place blocks from here and raise these 4 blocks by 9. We can now then break 2 blocks for another door, which is going to be for gardening or doing some stuff. It is optional and you can do it if you want. So we're going to be raising it up by 1 block, and this is going to be the terracotta framing. Now we can take blocks from here and wrap it around. And this is going to be our terracotta framing. Now we can then bring on a nice white block, which is, you can probably use quartz or any block of your choice. So I chose snow. One of one of the unused blocks. Like, I didn't see a lot use it in building, but I do like it a lot, and so I'm going to use it. We're gonna start by putting the snow blocks and raising it up by 7 blocks and start making frames, and this is going to be like the base in our shell. And this is going to be our snow layout. And then we can start decorating and bring light blue stained glass or any block of your choice and fill in the blocks to be our windows for our modern house. And this is pretty much it. And then you can go inside or outside and decorating it and decorating the top of the house. And we can use panes, like stained panes, as like the fence, because this is a futuristic house. And that's pretty much it. You can now go in from the inside and change like the ground, the flooring block. And since this modern house has a white and like dark gray palette, we can use like an iron door because it matches the white blocks. And what's cool about this house is you can decorate it like this. Oh, I actually forgot to place a door there. Anyways, you can decorate it like this. You can place a pressure plate here. From here, you can lay to a farm or like a futuristic farm, a nano farm. And you can place your bed, a furnace. And what's cool about this house is you can make multiple floors. So I have 3 floors in this one, which is the where I look out, which is a nice detail. And you can place a bunch of plants here and lots of stuff. And you can make a second floor, which can place your storage and your crafting table and your stuff, whatever you fancy. And you can decorate the outside, of course. And this is it pretty much for this house. Let's move on to the next one. For this next one, ignore the outside look, this glass tank. This house is actually an underwater 3x3 globe. I tried my best to make a small mini version of my base, like one globe of it, and it's 3x3. And now what I like about this house that the entrance is using the swim mechanic that's introduced in 1.13. And since this globe is really small, I can only make a 1 block entrance, which you can use by swimming. That's a really cool detail that I like. So, anyways, let's start working on the house. So, we start on by placing blocks cyan terracotta like this. Leaving the corners with no blocks in them. And you can't build this outside because it has a one block entrance, so it has to be underwater. That's what it's meant to be. And you can start by doing by placing a block up in each of these sides and make a cross at the top. And then the simple step is place a glass block, a stained glass block at the corners of these. And that's the house pretty much done. It's really simple yet effective and decorated. I placed the flooring block a quartz block, and it is quite nice and roomy in here. So you can place a birch fence, and you can close this off, and you can then decorate the inside as you like. For me, and I've decorated the inside, and as you can see, it's really nice in here. You have your bed, a bunch of paintings. You have two chests, two fort chests, which you can open, and you can have a crafting table and a furnace. And I've tidied up the ceiling using quartz stairs, and an item frame with a sea lantern on top of it. So, and here's my escape panel. So I guess this underwater house is like one of my favorite. And let's move on to my favorite house out of the bunch, which is a sandstone house, which is made in the desert, and it's using all the materials around you, such as sandstone, cut sandstone, chiseled sandstone, and you can use sand for glass, and for the dye you can use cactuses. Anyways, let's start working and making a frame for our door. And start placing in the rest of the walls and more frames for our windows. And since we've done the walls, we can then go and make these corners as an extra level of decoration. Now that the first segment is all done, we can then go on and work on the second layer. Now that that's all done, we can now start on making another layer from here. Now that that's all done, we can now start placing in our glass, which are for the windows. Now for an extra bit of decoration is buttons. Now that that's all done, the exterior, it's pretty much done. Now we can just bring our door and of course change the flooring. As you can see here, the the sandstone, uh, the top of it has a really nice texture, but the underside of every block, sandstone block, has this new texture, which looks way nicer than the top one. And so I'm going to use upside down stairs as my flooring. And this is the end of the exterior, and then you can place your door, and this is pretty much it. I've decorated my house like this. So as you can see, I have my carpet, and it is a detail that mixing a bunch of blocks, the green wool and the carpet as a decoration and giving it a bit texture. And I've used shelves by using birch trapdoors. And I have a bunch of chests, furnace, a crafting table, a bed, a bunch of paintings, and I've decorated the top to make this as a bit of a good light source from the top. And you can decorate the top by two ways, and you can delete this, the window that is here, and place a bunch of blocks, which is going to be leading you to an up viewing area, which we're going to be making using ladders and a trapdoor. So we can place the trapdoor like this, and this is pretty much it. This is your viewing platform, and if you want this like a defense tower, you can remove the windows and have a bow and start shooting from these positions, which is a really good technique if you want to protect your base. And these are two ways that you can make your base with, and you can make whatever you fancy. By far, this is my favorite design between all five, and this is pretty much it for this house, so let's move on to the next one. Now for our final design for the day, which is a hut for the savanna, the savanna biome, which is going to be using, of course, acacia wood. So let's start by placing acacia fence right here on either side. And then we can bring planks and start making our way like this. We're going to leave this because this is where our stair is going to be. Then you can go under it and place another stair like this. And you can place an acacia stair right here, which is going to be our entrance. Now for the walls, which are going to be acacia log. And we can place them like this. So we placed our logs, leaving a gap in the middle. And for these, since this is an open hut, so you can place fence right here. And a slab on top of them. Or you can leave it open if you want to shoot, although you can still shoot through these gaps. Or if the mobs are still gangy, you can still place another fence. It's of your preferable views. Anyways, now since that's done, we can start working on the roof. And you can decorate the roof like this. And starting your way making it upwards. Now for the final layer for it. And fill the whole roof. Like so. And this is pretty much it. And since this is an open hut, you can either use acacia fence like I have here, or use a door. And then you can open it and get inside, and it is pretty spacious in here. You can of course tidy up the inside. You can tidy up the roof, and it still looks the same. And I've decorated the house just like this. So here I have a gray bed, as opposed to this log, since it has a gray bark. And there are a bunch of chests, a crafting table, and a furnace. And this is pretty much it. And you can of course decorate the outside with flowers and grass and fern. And this is pretty much it. That is all for our 5 house tutorials. And I hope you all enjoyed it and found this video useful. Goodbye everyone, and see you next day.